Number one.
Okay, number one. Let's see. What year were you born?
1936.
1936. Where did you grow up?
Charlestown, Massachusetts. Or Charlestown. Oh, just put Charlestown, Boston in parentheses.
Okay.
All right, because Charlestown's part of Boston.
I know.
Oh, all right. So, I don't know how you'd say it. I grew up in Charlestown.
It's just recording.
Oh, I am. Now you tell me.
Okay, what was the time period in which you grew up like?
I grew up in the 40s and 50s, which is the greatest time there was.
Why?
Well, had lots of friends. We played lots of sports. Everybody knew everybody in Charlestown. It was just a great time to grow up.
Awesome. Okay, if you had to describe your childhood in 3 sentences, what would they be?
Three sentences. Happy-go-lucky. Great time to grow up and whatever.
Whatever. Okay. That's my favorite. And whatever. Alright, what was your dream job growing up?
I wanted to be a firefighter.
You did? That worked out.
That worked out.
How did you end up becoming a firefighter?
I liked being a firefighter. My uncle was a firefighter who I always respected. And he helped me a lot when I was going on the job, so that was it.
When did you become a firefighter?
1960.
1960. Alright, why? Just because you wanted to be one?
Well, it was a good job, security and everything else.
Yeah, you knew you were never going to be out of work. What was your favorite part about being a firefighter? What was the most rewarding?
Just a great bunch of people. Great group of friends I had and everything else had and still have.
All of the people that worked with you? That's great. So, how long had you been a firefighter when the blackout happened?
When was the blackout? What
65.
65. Oh, that's on for 5 years.
So, 1960.
You already asked me that, and
I
told
know
you
that.
1960.
I got that. Thank you. Where were you in your life in the later half of 1965? Like, married?
I was married. No. I was single. 65?
65, you were married.
I was married. I'm getting confused with 60 and 65. I was married.
Kids?
What month was that?
November. November.
One kid.
Mm-hmm.
One daughter.
What were you doing when the power went out? Where were you? What were you doing?
Well, we just went on. What time of night was that? About 5 o'clock?
5:30.
I had just got into work. We was working the night shift.
Oh.
So I just got into work. We're hanging out when the lights went out. Somebody says, "Uh-oh, I think we blew a fuse." And someone says, "It was more than a fuse. Everything's out." So we didn't have any power generators in then or anything else, only next door and fire alarm. Then we got a call that they wanted. I was on engine 1 and a rescue lighting unit. I was on the rescue that night, and we got a call to report to the Somerville Hospital. We didn't know what was going on up there. When we get up there, we were told we had to run lights to the maternity ward because they had no lights in the maternity ward. So they still needed the lights to feed the babies and run around all night. So we spent the whole night up there in the Somerville maternity ward.
We're only 5 minutes in.
Well, we're never going to make a half hour at my age.
What did you think happened when the power went out? After you figured out that it wasn't just a fuse.
We had no idea at all till the next day when you see the newspapers and everything else, and they said something happened in upstate New York with a generator or something blew. I don't know.
It was in Canada.
It was in Canada?
It was in Canada.
I always thought it was in New York, they told us.
It was in Canada.
Now, how far did the blackout go? Where was the blackout? From where to where?
It was from Canada to...
New Jersey?
Yeah. It was 8 states.
8 states in Canada.
Mm-hmm. 8 states in the...
See, that's somebody blew out the match.
Yep. Did you know that the story that went around at first was there was this little boy walking home and he was hitting a baseball bat on light posts and he hit one and then it went out, so he ran home and his parents were like, you can't have blown out the entire thing, but he was like so frightened. He thought he caused the entire blackout because right when he hit the pole, everything went out.
Sure, that was Casey at the bat.
All right, so I'm sure she's told you the story. What was Nana doing? Did she freak out? Did she?
Tell you the truth, I don't know what Nana was doing. Either Nana more than likely come upstairs and stay with Pat and Kathy. More than likely, because we lived she was downstairs, we had a 2 families. She was downstairs, we were upstairs. So I'm sure she went upstairs and stayed with Pat.
Mm-hmm. So you were already in work when it happened, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Just got there.
Mm-hmm. So how did you guys get around with all the traffic and like no traffic lights? Everything was stalled, wasn't it?
There wasn't too much traffic, but like I say, we had the headlights and everything else, and of course, firefighters always press on the old siren button anyway.
Speed right through. So, was there a lot of like panic? I know you went to the hospital and stuff. Was there were people freaking out?
Not that I know of, no. Everybody stayed in. There was nothing else you could do. You had to stay in. There was nothing you could do.
So, you talked to anyone, what did people think had happened? I know you didn't know, but, did anybody, have any theories?
I don't think anybody had any idea. You couldn't listen to the radio. There was no TV. There was no nothing, so there was no reporting on what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew anything.
Yeah. So that's basically it. Nobody knew. It was just complete
darkness.
Chaos. Nothing.
Not so much chaos, because like I say, I mean, people just stayed in. I mean, tell you the truth, I don't really remember on how people got home from work or anything else like that at 5:30, because the subways weren't working. I mean, unless the buses, but then they can use their lights, but they'd be slow going.
Yeah,
I really don't remember how people got home from work.
I know in New York there was some 800,000 people just the highways were just a parking lot. Nobody could go anywhere because there were no lights. Yeah,
when you stop to think no lights, when you hit those intersections, there's every man for himself.
Yeah. It's like nobody wanted to try to get home. They were all just kind of stuck.
Yeah, it's like Boston traffic today.
It's like, let's just get out of our cars and go hit the cafe around the corner. It's not like they're not going to be sitting there when we get back.
And drink warm beer because there's no refrigeration.
I'm sure all the kids loved that, running around to ice cream shops. So what was the fire station like? Just everybody going out, like getting ready to go out for a call? Because
like any
everything was dark?
No, like I say, if you had to go out, you had to go out. I mean, you had your headlights and everything else. And of course, we were in the lighting unit. I mean, but we had to string lights because we had a big power generator on the truck.
Mm-hmm.
But the engine companies, I don't know if they even went out that night. Like I say, we didn't know nothing. We completely up in the maternity ward. That was it.
So what was the hospital like when you got in? Like, was the hospital, there weren't no backup generators, were
No,
there?
I
So
think
it was
they
just...
had some generators and stuff for some of the places, but not the whole thing. All I know is the maternity ward didn't have any lights until we got there.
They did when you got there. So you just set up the lights when you got to maternity? You just set up the lights and you sat there and waited?
Just sat there and just made sure the lights kept going.
So you just sat there and stared at all the people? That's just it?
There were no real people. I mean, no people running around or anything else. It was just the patients and and the nurses and.
Well, you're in maternity, so there had to be some people. There's never not babies
but I mean,
being born.
we're just sitting like in a waiting room,
Yeah.
I mean, we were in the lights to the things and into the different parts of the maternity wards, but.
So how are you feeling throughout the day? Just confused?
Just sitting there and wondering what the hell went on. Why are we here?
You weren't worried about your wife or anything? You were just not a thought?
No, because I knew she was home.
That's true. So, where were you when the power went back on? Because it went back on at like midnight.
About midnight?
Like after midnight, yeah, in the morning.
Well, we must have went back to the station because the other nights we used to work 14-hour shifts. So we used to work. It was 6 to 8, but we always relieved an hour early. So we used to work actually 5 at night till 7 in the morning.
Why did you get out early?
I don't know. It's just something that somebody started that we always relieved an hour early.
So really, your time was 13 hours, not
still
14
hours.
So you got paid for 14 hours even though you only did 13 hours?
No, it was still 14 hours. 5 to 7 was still 14 hours rather than 6 to 8.
So you're supposed to work 15 hours.
What?
Nothing. Forget I said anything.
Let's just go back. We used to work 10-hour days and 14-hour nights.
So, you figured out the next day what happened? It was just in Canada, although you thought it was New York?
Oh, if I remember right, the newspapers and stuff were saying it was someplace upstate New York.
No, it was Canada. The workers working on a power grid, and they plugged the wire back into the wrong thing, and then it blew back, and it just blew out the entire grid, and then it just spread.
I wonder if that guy still got a job.
Oh. That little boy probably never played baseball again.
Oh, Casey?
Yeah, right? So what was the biggest short-term effect of the blackout, do you think?
The biggest what?
Short-term effect, like what happened the next day? People just carry on life as usual?
I really don't remember. I don't think there was much difference. Once the lights went back on, people were happy as all hell that they were back on.
People just shrugged and carried on.
And I suppose if you had to get up and go to work the next morning, you went to work.
Mm-hmm.
People then, I don't know, but I think people then were a lot different than people today.
How so?
I don't know. I think they could put up with more hardship and everything else like that. And I think they were closer together. People were then and everything else, and they respected one another. And if somebody was hurting for something, there was always the next door neighbor.
You had the community.
It was a
Kind of
tight knit
feel.
community, and I think almost every place is the same. It's nothing like today. Today nobody gives a damn.
Wow, throw us under the bus, would you?
Huh?
I said, throw us under the bus, will ya?
Throw someone under the bus?
This whole generation.
Well, not the whole generations, but I think right now today, I think the younger generation, for the majority, I really mean the majority, I think they're spoiled rotten. Like I say, no one says thank you, nobody says please, nobody gives a damn about, you could be laying in the gutter, they just walk on by. I don't think, I really do. Oh well.
Gosh,
That's
where's the chivalry anymore?
There isn't any. Like I say, when we grew up, I don't know, it was just a whole damn different ball game growing up. We swam in the rivers, and we played ball. Half the time we didn't have gloves or anything else, but you always played. There was always some place to go. We walked every place. We used to walk over to Chelsea Stadium, Everett Stadium, to watch the high school games. And of course, we always had the Boston City League, and we played football in the City League and stuff. They had baseball. There was always something to do at night. And it used to be out all night, all day, and everything else. You didn't hang around the house. There was no computers and all that there junk. It was just a different lifestyle.
So when the sun came out, you were outside, and when it went down.
Yeah, you went to school like everybody else. You come home from school, you could change your clothes, and out the door you went. And you come in for supper. That's supper. You people call it dinner now, but supper. And after that, you'd go out and you'd be with your friends again. I mean, so just went on like that.
The sauce sandwiches.
The what?
The sauce sandwiches. I've heard so much about sauce sandwiches.
Sauce?
You couldn't afford the meatballs.
Oh.
Meatball sub, so you just got sauce.
Hell, most of the time it was ketchup. No, I grew up, like I say, with a great bunch of kids and everything else, so I'm still in touch with a lot of them that are still alive. Mm-hmm. And like I say, I don't know, we all hung out in the corner and we all went to service around the same time together and get out together and everything else. And I don't know, life just went on.
People could recover from anything.
Well, the only bad part about the 50s was the Korean War. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, it was a great era.
If there was any era I'd want to go back to, it would definitely be 50s.
Huh?
Said if there's any time I'd want to go back to, it would totally be the 50s.
Oh, yes. Great music, everything.
Yeah.
Wasn't what I don't know what the hell you call this stuff they have now, but
I listen to old music. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, but you didn't have Sinatra and Joni James and
I love
Eddie
Sinatra.
Page, and Teresa Brewer, Nat King Cole.
Frank Sinatra
Tony
is
Bennett.
amazing.
You didn't have this. Those people back in the 40s and 50s, they're still singing today. The people today, some of these music, they're here today and they're gone tomorrow. You never hear them again next week.
It's all in the now.
I hope the teacher ain't marking me for this.
We should probably get back to this. What was the biggest long-term effect of Blackout? The kids? All the babies being born the next year?
Yeah. 9 months later, there was a huge amount of babies being born from Jersey to Canada.
How many do you think, if you had to guess, how how much the rate increased.
How many babies were born? I would say in the thousands.
From August to September, because that's about 9-10 months after.
Yeah, well, anywhere in and around that date.
So do you look back fondly on your time as a firefighter?
Huh?
You look back fondly on your time as a firefighter. Do you miss it?
Yes, I do miss it. I miss it very much. And fortunately, that we do have a group that gets together every other Wednesday. I don't make it all the time, but we get all the retirees get together and have coffee and donuts and stuff. And
That's awesome. That's amazing.
And there ain't many of them left, but the ones that are, I'm still in touch with.
That's amazing. You have like that brothership for life kind of a thing.
That's the fire department. That's the firefighters.
See, that makes me want to get into something
It's
like
a band of brothers throughout the whole United States and Canada. You can go into any fire station and anything else and tell them you're a brother, and they put you up for the night if you're in New York or Chicago or wherever you are.
That's great.
It's just a brotherhood.
So, what do you miss most, do you think? Just the people?
Oh, I miss the guys and everything else. I miss some of the action and stuff like that there. And I don't know, it's just, like I say, we used to have a lot of fun in the firehouse. Until the bell hit.
Do you have Taco Tuesdays? Taco Tuesdays and like
no
different
tacos or
designated.
anything else. I used to be the one of the cooks and everything else, and we just had the basics: meatloaf, American chop suey, and all that there.
Do you have like a calendar and you write down who's cooking every night?
No, I was made mostly to the cook.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. I didn't mind cooking or anything else. I'd cook something for myself, and then somebody else would say, "Hey, you got any extra there?" They were the hungriest bunch. One of the biggest thing was always, was that your lunch in the refrigerator? What do you mean, was it?
Was it?
Somebody just ate it.
Yeah, but you're all brothers, so you know.
Yeah, well. Nobody knew what was going on. I mean, there was a blackout. There was no street lights. There was nothing. I mean, what could you do? What could you say about it? I mean, nobody knew what happened.
Was it peaceful? You
Oh,
didn't have to look at people.
It was peaceful, yeah. What the hell?
No,
I mean,
no big factories, no smoke, no horns honking.
No, there nothing. I mean, like I say, it was quiet because everybody was headed home and got home, and they stayed in because there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. I mean, it wasn't like the blizzard of '78. Everybody was out in the streets. It was daylight, and everybody's out in the street helping everybody else shovel out their cars, everything. But this one here, what could you do? I mean, like I said, close your eyes. What do you see? Nothing.
People having picnics and candlelight. You know, why not do that?
You know, I don't even know. Well, people had candles. I don't know how many people had flashlights.
There must have been a mass intake of candles that year. Everybody wants to be prepared.
If you were lucky, if you had candles then.
Oh, I know it.
I mean, everybody has candles in the house today, but I don't know.
Yeah, but they're all scented.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're all them things. I'm talking about the candlesticks, I mean.
Yep.
So what do you want to talk about? Casey the Batter?
What else do you want to say?
There's not much you can say. Like I say, I mean...
You breezed through my 37 questions like that.
Because they were all pretending to the same thing, which was the blackout. And like I said, nobody knew what was going on.
A lot of people thought it was a declaration of war.
Possibly they could have thought that too. I mean, like I say, everybody had a different idea probably in their own head, but like I say, as far as anybody knowing what happened,
You didn't have any ideas?
No, I mean,
You didn't even try to get creative and think of anything?
No. How would you find out that there was a power outage up in Canada?
You wouldn't.
That affected everything. I mean, today you'd see it. You'd get a radio. You'd see it on TV. You'd see it on your computer.
How would you see it on TV if there was no power?
No, I'm saying today. Today you would see it if this happened today. Afterwards or something. But then there was.
Hi.
Good night.
Hi, I'm going to bed.
But you know that there was no way of finding out.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably guess what was going on. Some people must have had some beautiful ideas too. I don't know, but everybody was in the same boat.
Except for the people who were in actual boats and couldn't see anything.
Yeah, they were probably better off than us because they probably had generators and everything else. They weren't worried about electricity.
That's true. You don't need to worry about electricity on the water.
So what year again was that? 65?
65. So how long were you a firefighter? When did
I did 32 years.
32 years.
32
So that would be
years.
82?
I'm 82 years old.
I know that, but what year did you...
Oh, I'm on the 60, so yeah, it'd be
82.
82.
I did the math in my head.
Oh, I'm going to give you A for math.
I already have an A in math.
All right, then I'll give you A plus.
I already have an A plus in math.
Well, the hell with it. You don't get nothing.
You're not going to cook me any of that, the firefighter food?
No, you couldn't eat that stuff.
I eat your food, don't I?
Yeah, all right. I'm trying to think what you'd eat. Oh, all right. We had one was roasted chicken and roasted potatoes.
How do you roast potatoes?
Yeah, every man got a chicken breast. So we used to put a chicken breast in, and we used to use at that time it was Kelly's potatoes, cans of potatoes. Mm-hmm. Used to just pour them in the pan with the chicken and butter and paprika and throw them in the oven.
You gonna make me that sometime?
I'd be glad to make it for you.
Thank you.
Because everybody here likes it too. I don't know why we haven't had it lately. Of course, I'm only back 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month.
How long have I been back?
A month.
I ain't been back a month.
Almost a month.
We come home the 9th.
The 4th.
We come home the
The
9th.
4th.
The hell are you, crazy?
You came back the 4th. May 4th. I remember because it was May the 4th be with you.
No, we come home May 9th.
Okay.
It was daylight.
So if you had to pick one word to describe your time as a firefighter, those 32 glorious years of not having to be home all the time.
Friendship.
Friendship. Better than family ship?
It's the same thing.
Good escape from this place.
They are your family. Like in the army, they were your family. And I enjoy getting out of here.
Exactly. I knew that was gonna happen. You didn't have to deal with things 1 through 6.
What's 1 through 6?
You got a wife and 5 kids.
And that was without the blackout.
Who'd you like best in that house? The dog? Nellie?
Oh, I miss everybody. I even missed you. Teach, how much longer we got?
1 minute.
1 minute?
1 minute.
All right, teacher, here we go. Make it a good one.
What can I ask? What's your stance on college ice?
College ice.
As you just had one.
College ice, all college ice was just ice cream, chocolate sauce, not hot sauce,
I still don't get
and
this.
marshmallow and nuts.
I still don't get it.
What?
Because you guys asked me to get you a college ice.
College ice.
And you expect me to know what that means.
Well, now you know. See, you're getting educated right away. I mean, just talking to me for a little while, you're getting smarter by the minute.
That's what that is. I thought the headache was just from talking to you. I guess it's the brain expanding. Is that what you're telling me?
Sometime we'll talk about the 50s.
All right.
Huh?
I look forward to it.
And we'll talk about Sinatra and Perry Como and all the rest of them.
I like Sinatra.
Okay.
I listen to Frank Sinatra.
What about Perry Como?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Tony Bennett.
I think I know who that
Nat
is.
King Cole.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Teresa Brewer.
I have one more question.
Well, all right.
Why do you always sound like you're yelling?
I'm deaf.
That was a beautiful answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shake my hand.
You're welcome.
Don't break my hand.